Yo, what's up guys? This is BunnyMuffins. Today we have the patch 10.11 patch notes for TFT. This is the last patch before the mid-season update, so this is the last time you will be able to get like the certain rank you want. So be sure to climb now. That's why we need to read these patch notes so we know what to play in the next patch. But let's just get right into it. We have a brief summary here, but since we're going over the whole thing, I'll just skip right to it. There's a new galaxy, Little Legends. Everyone starts with 85 instead of 100 health. So this is the opposite of medium legends. And I'm assuming in this galaxy, you want to play even more aggressively than we are right now in order to get an advantage there. So this one is going to be happening the most often at 12.5%, and everything else I'm assuming got reduced a tiny bit, with Galactic Armory having 10% and the rest having 7.5%. It seems like they want to keep normal at around 25% of games. Next up, we have traits. Chrono is being changed. It's being buffed a tiny bit. It went from 8.42 to 8, 3.5, and 1.5, and you get a 15% attack speed at each of these time intervals. So this is definitely a buff. It's like a 25% buff at 6 chrono, and at 4 chrono, it's like a 12.5% buff. I don't think this is going to do too much because 8 chrono, compared to the old chrono buff, I still think this is slightly weaker. But we'll have to see how it works out. I know that Kayle's getting touched as well, so that'll affect the main person who utilizes his composition. But next up we have Infiltrator. Infiltrators now always jump immediately at the beginning of the combat instead of with a slight delay. This means that they might get targeted a little earlier. So this is definitely like a nerf to Infiltrators, unless you want one of your Infiltrators to tank. But most of the Infiltrators, they don't want to tank, they want to just do damage and let the tanks tank, you know? Next up we have champions. Caitlyn, acing the whole damage, is now being decreased at level 3. Interesting, so that's a nerf to Hyperroll. I don't think this makes too much of a difference because this was already pretty overkill, but I'm sure there are some instances where it targets a tank and it won't kill them anymore. Next up we have Graves. Smoke Grenade blind duration is now reduced. This is a well-deserved nerf. Graves is one of the strongest early game units, if not the strongest, and that's just because he blinds people for like a really long time, making them pretty useless. Next up we have Jarvan's Ageless standard attack speed boost is now being buffed at level 1 but nerfed at level 3, so this affects the hyper rollers but helps the Darkstar player a little more. Kha'Zix's spell damage is now also decreased from 500 to 400 at level 3, so again, hyper roll nerf. So they've been nerfing all the hyper roll comps. Xayah mana 50 to 70, that's pretty sizable. That's 20 out of 50 mana, that's 40% nerf, so shift things up pretty big for this patch. Hyperroll got hit pretty hard, I'd say, because Xayah, Kha'Zix, and yeah, those are some pretty big nerfs. So let's see how the meta develops. I'm assuming that there will still be some hyperrollers out there, but definitely much less than before. Now we have the tier 2 champions. Blitz Rocket Grab now deals reduced damage at all levels by 50. Yeah, maybe he was a little broken. It's just because Brawler Chrono is just such a good synergy for all the carries in the game right now. We have Jinx and Kayle, and Blitz works with both of them. So that's why he's always being overplayed right now. Lucian Relentless Pursuit. He is being buffed at level 3. Interesting. That shouldn't be doing too much. No one really gets Lucian level 3, but now I guess if you get him there, it does a tiny bit more damage. Tier 3 champions mastery attack speed increased by 0.5. Yeah, I guess they kind of want to see more Blade Master comps, maybe strengthen Rebels up a little bit. The Blade Masters and Rebels are kind of ignored. Even though 2 of the Rebels are Blade Master, no one really plays them, so I guess they need some power somewhere. Tier 4 champions, Cho'Gath's starting mana increased by 25, that's really good for him, and Kayle increased mana by 10 for his total mana, or for her total mana. So Kayle nerf, definitely going to hurt a tiny bit. Maybe it makes items such as like Hand of Justice slightly better on her, since you definitely want her to start ulting quicker than before, but I still think Kayle's going to be really strong. So they pretty much nerfed every comp except for Jinx, so we'll see how this shapes up the game. And Jhin might get a little stronger because everything else is weaker, but I think Jinx and Kayle will still be the strongest carries in this patch. So next up we have items. Last Whisper, armor reduction from 90% to 75%. I guess this is where Jhin and Jinx get hit. So literally everything got nerfed. We'll see how that works out, because when everything gets nerfed, nothing's kind of nerfed, but definitely Hyperroll got hit the hardest here. So quality of life, zoom in and look around. On mobile, we have 2 fingers and pinch them together to zoom out again. Drag on the board to pan while zoomed in. Okay, so this is pretty much like a mobile. Oh no, on PC, move your mouse scroll wheel up and down, click and drag on the board to pan. All right, that's pretty cool. We couldn't really zoom in that much in the game right now. Sorry, I just like scrolled around trying to practice zooming in, but yeah, that's fine. It doesn't really do much to the game, but I guess it'll be cooler to look around and stuff. Fixed a bug where Master Yi's attack speed ratio was incorrect. That's good, and I don't care about mobile changes. All right, so despite being like a smaller patch, there were a lot of buffs and nerfs because they nerfed everything that was pretty dominant in the meta, like Xayah comps, Kayle comps. Those were the 2 most popular builds. Kha'Zix got nerfed as well. He isn't in this picture, but he got nerfed as well. Last Whisper affects both Jinx and Jhin, so the only comp that wasn't really touched is something like Star Guardians. Mech got weaker with the Infiltrator change. Pretty much every Infiltrator comp did. Maybe Cybernetics is a little better. I guess they got hurt a little by Last Whisper. So maybe Vanguards get stronger a tiny bit since Last Whisper doesn't completely destroy them anymore. It's still very good against them, obviously, but it isn't like auto win against Vanguards. But we'll see what happens. Again, this is the last patch that we can do to climb during the first half of the set, and then in patch 10.12 we have the new champions, which I went over yesterday, but I'll leave a link in the description down below, or I'll leave a card somewhere. So you definitely want to check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, that's it for this week. Good luck on this next patch, because again, this is the last time we'll be able to climb for this set. So with that being said, I'll come out with the meta snapshot on Friday, and I'll see you guys then. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.